putting us in like brackets and shit. Like, oh nah, man, all you niggas agree. Like, what the hell?
Welcome back to Lidat. I am joined again by Jose Banana Boat Guerrero. I'm joined today by two of my nearest and dearest friends as well. We have Ishmael Castillo on, I'm not sure what you're going to edit that. It could be on either side, but bottom beneath me, I believe. And I'm joined by Javon Taylor. Gentlemen, so Jose, introduce yourself first, and then we'll get Ish and Javon to introduce themselves.
Wait, give me a second. I'm having technical difficulties with the lights.
All right, so Ish, you can introduce yourself first and let us know what you have going on.
People? What's up, people? My name is Ismael Castillo. Old friend of Sammy. We go way back into high school. And one of the few people out of maybe three that I still talk to from high school. Two of them right here included. Last one, Jose. Shout out to Jose.
I was about to say, who's the other one?
Yeah, it's Yatu and Jose.
That's it.
That's it.
Yeah.
And not this
There's
Jose,
no
another Jose.
Yeah.
Well, I if you want to get to know me a little more, I'm an actor. A working actor. Thank God, thank goodness. Blessed for that. I believe in the arts. I think arts is healing. I feel like Sammy want to get into that later. We'll get into that in this podcast. And yeah, I'm out here hustling, grinding, redefining what it means to be a G, or defining it in my own way.
Javon, some would say that you are probably my most controversial friend. I believe last time I had you on the podcast, a Mexican girl hit me up and said, "Hey, get old boy off the podcast." Welcome back to the podcast. That's one. Two, introduce yourself and give me like a quick 2 or 3 sentences of why you think people believe that you are toxic or whatnot.
Bro, like, I say the truth. That's it.
Say the truth. That's it.
It's been brewing since the Trump era.
What's been brewing?
Like, I speak my mind, it's just venom back towards me.
Yeah.
So that's why, like, with most people, I try to just be like, hey, what do you think? Oh, word? Okay. Like, now I don't really even debate with people.
You just give it up how it is.
Yeah. Because the way I see it now is like, everyone, we're all on our own journey. You at where you at, I'm at where I'm at, and then that's just it. Like, if you don't want to come over, I can't make you. I feel like before I was trying to do that, like force my will on other people. But
I know that you've been building like this little escape little not escape, like if things go down, like you have like a survival box. How's that going? How's that progressing?
Yeah. I got it right here. I don't know if you can see it. Can you? I don't know, flip the camera. But yeah, I got that. I bought buy some water, some weapons. Yeah,
Texas, man. You come to Texas, you're just 19, you get a gun. That's it.
Nigga, you see they fucking bringing all these what's the political correct term now?
Illegal aliens?
No, that's the other one. You can't say that. Undocumented people. So I don't know if Texas is the place to be. Too hot.
I think it's too hot.
Where you want to be? Florida?
But I mean, you want to get a gun, right? How you gonna get a gun anywhere else?
You can get a gun in most states.
Oh yeah, but it'll be easier. You can come over here, get a gun with just your ID. It's a quick process. You get your gun, you get your ammo. Go to back the fuck up, and you're good. Legal.
Now you get a gun, but then there's a war in 3 years.
A warrant?
A war.
Yeah, so you have. I'm not saying to stay in Texas. I'm telling you to get the gun and go.
Yeah, you can get a gun. I got plans. I'm good.
I got plans.
You can get a gun anywhere.
Yeah,
that's true.
I'm pretty sure
you heard of the dude that the kid that was upstate from the Bronx. I think he was either upstate or in Boston. He was going to school, had a 3.5 GPA, made the dean's list and all that. And every time he came back to the Bronx, he was smuggling weapons. and selling it to
Wow.
an undercover cop, bro. I'm like,
Crazy.
how you do him like that? This dude's doing all his grades right. Yeah, he's smuggling guns or whatever. That's
Whatever, bro. He's smoking THC
but yo,
crystal.
he was grinding both ways. He was doing it both ways, bro.
That's
Getting
a
his
true.
degree, getting the money to pay for the degree through the streets, and then he got caught up.
Hey, that's a high value man right there, bro. That's the problem, bro. They're trying to keep
High
that.
value man.
It's a high value man, bro. But can you get weapons like in Arizona or like? I'm pretty sure like Phoenix.
I remember there was a point where I won't go into details of the person's name, but there was someone that had a serious problem with, and I was gonna do something about it. And I had a connect in Virginia that would have got me in, whatever I needed. But then I kind of just turned it down. I was like, you know what? I don't want to be that guy. And it was going to escalate too because of the people he was connected to. And around that time, my father was still alive. So, my father's been alive. Whatever, it would just escalate and become a bigger thing than it had to be. I kind of just dropped it.
That was a long time ago then, right?
Yeah, it was 2015, 2016.
Okay.
They say in Alaska the place to be to get a gun.
I heard they pay you if you're in Alaska. Isn't
They
it
pay
true
the
You
that
don't need a
Alaska, yeah.
permit.
yeah, they pay you like
Don't need a permit. Don't need none of that. Or
I mean,
registration.
I wouldn't mind it, but fuck, bro. It's like it's dark for half the year. It's
Nah, hell
freezing
no.
cold.
Yeah.
It's like depression is high, but at least you got a gun.
But what's up with you, Jose? What's going on today? Is there anything in your mind on today's topic or things you want to talk about today outside of the main topic?
Oh, I am excited to see what you guys are going to talk about because apparently I'm already in a bubble. Me and somebody else already think the same. I don't know why. You know what I mean? He just wants to bunch us all up.
I'm not bunching everyone all up. I've asked each one of you guys your opinions on the situation, and the opinions are similar. So I said it seems as if you guys are all going to agree.
That's so you're a communist and you think that we're all alike. And
I'm a communist.
You're a fucking socialist. I bet you like social. You want to put us all together and shit.
Come on, man. You see how happy again, Javon? Javon here's communist and socialist. He just fucking gets hard and shit. Oh yeah, fuck these people. Oh yeah. All right. What we're talking about today is the metaverse. More broadly, social media. I guess because that's a better encompassing word for the topic that we're discussing. And the main topic would be: is it a benefit, net benefit, or net negative, net positive or net negative for humans in general? A more smaller subject is metaverse and what it means for the future of humans and their development, right? And I'll open up the discussion by saying that I personally believe that social media and the metaverse have been a net positive for humankind. And I believe the longer it exists, there's more possibility of it being corrupted, right? Because the people are using it for their advantage. But the equipment itself is not inherently bad, right? So now inherently, when it's developed, it wasn't built for a bad cause. Net positive, I mean it does better for humanity than it does negative for humanity. Can we all agree on those terms?
Yeah.
Repeat that.
No, I'm laughing because I keep looking at Javon. I think that you're like, man, fuck Sam, bro. What the fuck he's talking about? Anyway.
So that's my stance on it. I think we should start this off with Javon, because I think Javon has more of a concise view on what he thinks the metaverse and social media.
Because honestly, I don't have a dog in this fight.
That's sure, Javon.
Wait. What were the definitions that you wanted to get clear before we?
Well, I wanted to get when I'm saying inherently, which is basically the basic term, is that it was built to do a specific thing, such as good, evil, fucking build a car, whatever it's intended to do, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then what was the other word I used? Yeah, and then net positive, obviously it does better for, and then net negative, it does worse for, right?
Okay.
We are going to use umbrella terms. I know this conversation is going to go more onto the side of good and evil and how we're going to define it. But I'm down to have those conversations and just kind of see where it goes, because I do believe everyone inside the Zoom call are all intelligent people, and I've learned a lot from each one of you guys. So I'd love to hear you guys' opinion, and I do want to throw it over to Javon first.
Okay. So do I think it's going to be a net positive?
Yeah, net positive, net negative. The metaverse.
I think it's obviously a net negative.
Okay.
Obviously.
Obviously.
So think about how socially isolated a lot of people already are, especially with COVID. And this was already a thing before COVID. So you have this thing that people are gonna, no doubt, like people are already addicted to their phone. So if you introduce something that's way more addictive and real life-like than your phone, and you have everyone on it, they're gonna be even more addicted to that, spending more and more time on that than engaging in real life. And it's gonna be like fucking. I heard Jose talking about this on your last joint when he said like Ready Player One. It's gonna be like that.
It's lit. Oh yeah, horrible.
Nah, it's not lit. It's gonna be that or Hunger Games. It's not lit. That's not bueno.
More like I was thinking. You ever watched Westworld?
Yeah,
Nah.
I seen Westworld.
Basically, just a quick summary. It's basically a place where you can pay, and whatever happens in that place goes. So the characters, the NPCs, are basically just robots in a sense. They have sentience to a certain level, but they're just basically robots. So you can do whatever you want in the world. You can pillage, steal, anything goes as long as you're one of the paying customers, essentially. So a lot of the rich people, they go there because you can do whatever you want. You're not liable for anything, and it's escape from reality because you get to play as a cowboy or whatever. So quick summary. That's it. Keep going.
Yeah. I mean, you got any problem with what I said so far? Any disagreements?
Can you explain why not being social is bad?
I mean, it's the way we're made. We're made to be social.
Okay.
So if you're on the metaverse all day long, you're fucking like, you eat, sleep, then you're on the metaverse. Because you already have countries, I think Barbados, I forgot where, it might be Barbados. They already made it so their embassy is in the metaverse. So you have to go on the Oculus to go to their embassy. So the more this thing is introduced, the more they're going to make it a regular component of life, the same way the internet is. So if all of life is on the metaverse and not where people see, feel, hear, and touch, like the real world that God made, and you think the metaverse is going to be free in the sense that like you already now you can't say certain words on the internet. How you think we're going to have the same kind of freedom? What kind of freedoms do you think we're going to have on the metaverse that's completely controlled by somebody else?
That's a good point.
So
anyone else has anything to chime in? Ish, Jose?
No, yeah, like my by your definition, yeah, it's gonna be net positive. Like it's inherently good. It's made so that we can have better experiences like we having right now. Like a world where we could, instead of being, because I got you on my phones right now, these little cubes. Instead of having that, I could have you in my living room and we could sit and talk. Like, but that's nowhere near now. Like what it is right now, it looks like The Sims. Like it's the idea of it is The Sims right now. Like, and for it to get to a level where it's better than this, is gonna, I'd say maybe 20 years for it to like really get to a depth that is like equal to human life, and not even equal, but like something worth going to. That, because what I feel like we have here, Mother Nature, the world that, like Javon said, that God created, nothing gonna compare to that. There's nothing gonna compare to that. And so,
what do you think about social media then in general? So it seems like the metaverse kind of idea for you is too far in the future to really like nail down really everything besides the simulation or situation. So what do you think about social media? I guess just in general, because I know before me and you spoke probably like 5 years ago from now about social media, and I believe at the moment, I don't know how your views have changed to now, but I believe at the moment we're discussing two things. We're discussing standardized tests, and we're discussing social media. And you believe both were you believe standardized tests was obsolete, and you also believe, and I'm just in case, so you can also confirm if I'm just making things up or not. And you believe that social media was a net negative or just bad, something bad that exists.
Like, when it comes to social media, especially like within the last 5 years, I know that it's a tool. It's turned into a tool that you get to use how you want. You get to engage in it if you want to. You don't need to, especially depending on the life that you choose. But you can integrate it into your life and let it be a tool to your benefit. Like, and there's ways, it's addictive nature that I do think that in like the last 5 years, they've tried to do things to not allow people to measure their self-worth through like social media, because before it was like in its early stages, it was like definitely a huge like self-worth like measurement that people went through. But like when Instagram updated and took off, like you don't like, unless you do the extra step to see how many likes you getting, you don't really get like you don't always see it when and I'm talking about in Instagram specifically. Like you gotta sometimes go through an extra step just to see how many likes you getting. You don't get notified for every single like as much as you did before. But so it was like neurologically a way to get somebody to measure their self-worth. But like now it's evolved to a thing that is like you get to see what you want. You choose what it is that you want. If there's a certain thing that you're very interested in, you could really mess with your own algorithm so that you could repeatedly get that thing, so that you can learn, educate yourself a lot more, and then like use it as a promotional thing. Like me being an actor, I'm still like fighting with how I'm going to use my social media, but I know for sure whenever I got something, I'm promoting it on it. Like that's my relationship with it right now. There's things that I still need to like sit down. I feel like with a manager or some shit and really sit down how I could use it to my best abilities. But I've learned in the last few years that it's a tool. Like, and there's people that use it to like The Rock, best social media user that we have in this world, because he
it's definitely between him and Will Smith.
Yeah, like I think The Rock does it better. Like The Rock is way more personable. Like Will Smith uses social media in a very like with like film in mind. Like a lot of cuts and all this other stuff. The Rock will grab his phone, do a quick selfie, talk to the world, and get 4 million views in an hour.
He's like more like a personality.
Yeah,
more like a personality over. Yeah,
I feel like he uses it more like the regular person should and would, versus the way Will Smith. Will Smith got a whole production team for every single one of his videos. Like that we might not have access to. So that's why his social media is so popping, because he got a whole team behind him doing it. I'm not saying The Rock doesn't, but the way he shows it is like most of his videos, it feels like he got a ring light just like this. He sets it up. If he got something really important to say, if he's promoting something, he just got to do. He working out with, yo, hold my phone real quick. I got to talk to the people. Like that's the vibe that like The Rock does his shit on. But yeah, like it's turned into a tool.
So to make it clear, you don't really have a view of if it is negative or positive. you view it as a tool.
Social media?
Yes.
Yes, it's a tool.
Okay. Okay.
And to bring it to the topic, like the metaverse, I feel like, my opinion, like it could have been made for like something personable. Like I remember in the podcast that you had last time when you brought it up, it's like you kind of described it as like a way to extend the world. You know, like if you can't get land here, you could go into the metaverse, work, and then you could buy your land there. I think that's dumb. Like I think that's like a waste of time, space, and effort. You know, like
What do you mean? So you believe that work within the metaverse might not be worth anything that can be reflected back into the real world?
I don't feel like it. I don't think it's gonna transfer well. Like a lot of people still, you know, there's people that are big believers in Bitcoin, but like it's still not like fully transferred itself completely into our world. You know, like it's still very much, I feel like, a big, like, cryptocurrency is like still an early idea versus something that's very like tangible, you know, like with the government and like taxes and shit like that. Because if Bitcoin ends up getting taxed, bro, a lot of people gonna lose. Like a lot of people gonna lose.
Yeah,
you know,
this
and
money is gonna get taxed.
and then my thing is like I actually like, because Apple had their word in like the last few days. They like started like supporting the metaverse in like the last like 5 days, like openly. Before they openly supported the metaverse, I liked the idea that they had a lot better. It was like kind of a merge between the two, where like you throw on the shades, you still in your room, you still here in the house, or let's say you in New York, you still in New York, but like I could like look at, let's say, like the Empire State Building, or I could be on the skyline and like see some shit, and like I would get like information. I could like walk the skyline, and let's say like
You're talking
Beyonce
about
or like Jay-Z
augmented
walked
reality.
it. Yeah, you know, like let's say like somebody famous like walked the skyline. I could throw on the shades and like see their experience, you know, like and how they like walk the skyline and be like, oh shit, like that's somewhat interesting, you know, because I'm still living in my world. I'm still in my world, but I could see other people's experience while they was here. You know, I could choose to be like, record my whole experience and then be like, yo, Javon, if you walk in the skyline, peep what I did the other day. And then he over there throw on his shades and he could see it. That's dope, you know, because I'm still here. I'm still in my reality, but I could have a shared experience with somebody that was once there. But to like, and I think that concept is something that's like worth playing with, you know?
Yeah.
Because it somewhat feels like social media in a way.
Okay. Jose, you've heard from both these gentlemen and myself. I think last podcast we were more talking about what it could be. I don't think I really ever got your strong opinion on whether you believe metaverse or social media was negative or positive. I guess now I'll just shoot the question towards you. What do you think about the metaverse or social media in general?
And the thing is, I don't really have a strong opinion on it. I kind of like, yes, I agree that it's a tool, but it can mess you up if you use it incorrectly, especially with social media. I mean, if you look at social, wait, what the fuck is this? The 40 minutes time in. Okay. You guys didn't see that, right?
No.
Oh, no, there was a time limit, but I took it away.
Okay.
Like if you look at social media, right? There are people that just use social media and all they do is scroll on it. And that is counterproductive because you're not doing anything with it. You're just stuck in your phone, not doing anything. But then there is the way maybe an influencer will use social media, the way we use social media, that we use to promote stuff. Right? I don't think it's evil. I don't think it's evil. The phone is not forcing you to do anything. It is up to you to use it to the best of your abilities. The same thing with the metaverse. The metaverse is scary because there are some people that their reality sucks. Maybe they're depressed. Maybe they don't have luck at school. Maybe they don't have no luck with girls. Maybe they have a horrible situation at home, and they're using the video games or the metaverse to escape their reality completely, and they get addicted to their new found reality.
Exactly. And you could carve it out to be whatever you want.
Yeah, and I hear you. I can understand how it can be a toxic. I can understand how it will ruin somebody, because maybe your world sucks and this is your escape from it, and can it become addicting. But I also understand how you can use it to expand. I also understand how you can use it in a positive way, just like he said. Imagine if we had the metaverse and instead of doing this, we were in a room just talking to one another, right? That's a positive way of using it. But imagine that after this podcast was done, I went into the metaverse because I hated my own reality and I was just becoming a hero, or, you know, like I was doing something that I couldn't do in the real world, because in the real world, let's face it, in the real world, you can become something, but you have the risk of failing.
Yeah,
and that
a
is
lot of work.
that is scary for some people. I mean, a podcast, you can fail at a podcast. You can, there's plenty, starting a business, you can fail, but in the metaverse, I don't think it has the same impact because it's not reality. So you can try things, and if you fail, oh well, I can start over, right? So I don't know, like it can be good or bad. It's I'm
Okay.
not.
I don't believe in. I don't believe that. I don't believe that.
You don't believe
I
what?
believe. I believe the well, I think the statement was something like. Repeat the last couple of sentences you said. There was something there that I jumped on. Jose.
That it's not neither good or bad. Failing at a business.
No.
Escaping
No.
reality?
The escape from reality. Okay. Here's my thing with value, and this is where I think the conversation is gonna get more forward, because I don't believe there's anything in. I don't think there's anything inherently valuable with any humankind, or for just humans, if another human doesn't value it as well. So if you're going to the metaverse to escape reality, right? There's only but so much escaping you can do within that reality, or within the metaverse reality, because since you're there by yourself, eventually you come to a place where you can't enjoy it, because you can't excuse me, you can't infinitely enjoy a reality that has no other humans within it. It doesn't matter how much your world sucks. You want something to. Video games are fun when you play with other people. Speaking is fun when you do it with other people. Eventually, there's a point in life where you can't just do something by yourself.
But the metaverse has
Even
other
great
people.
artists. Okay, but if you're escape, okay, so if the person is escaping reality and going to a reality where they're interacting with other people that they enjoy, I don't see how that's any different than interacting with people within the original reality on Earth. You're still interacting with people. Everything
is here's the difference. The difference is the self. The self is different when you go into a place where you're creating an avatar that looks nothing like you. You know, like that. So the difference is the person's self-value. When they go into the metaverse, you could say that is better because they're creating a version of themselves that's different, or a version of themselves, or depending on the person. But if we're talking about those people that are in the real world, not really sociable, not really seeing things, that's a self that person in a sense needs help. We are not biologically created to be alone, and anybody that is alone is suffering something and needs that human touch, that human feel, that human hold. So if that person is going into the metaverse and is just living their life in the metaverse 24/7, that the only thing they do is disconnect, sleep, and eat, and they get up right into the metaverse, that person needs help. Regardless of how they doing in the metaverse, that person needs help.
Okay, I can see where you're going there. I think
And
I'm
also, you got to
more for.
think, because you said that it can't be by themselves. You think only one person is gonna get on the metaverse? Like,
No,
there's gonna,
that's not what I'm saying.
even if it's okay, it's not like 10% of the world is into the metaverse. Like, think about the World of Warcraft. Most people didn't play that game. It had a lot of people on it, but most people didn't play. I mean, I didn't play it. Any of y'all play World of Warcraft?
I played it once. I ain't even gonna front. I ain't last more than like a week, but I did. I tried it.
It was like a whole thing. Like, there were a lot of people that were like really addicted to that game, and they like wasted a lot of time on it. It was like a whole thing. So even if like, okay,
and
the majority of people don't get on it, there's still enough people there to suck your time away. And also, you got to think of because you say, okay, it can be good, it can be bad, which is true because it is a tool. But you also got to think of who are the people that are making it? What are their intentions? And do you think Mark Zuckerberg has our best intentions at hand? Like, what has Facebook done for the world? Like, steals your data, knows everything about you, all your information. Is that the guy you want constructing reality?
Yeah, and
good question.
it's definitely a place where the rich are gonna get richer and the poor are gonna get poor. You know, like the
I
rich.
don't agree with that either.
I think so. You know, like the rich are gonna have. I personally feel like, especially with the way you was describing it in your last podcast, if I'm creating a place that has infinite space, just that if you living in a 1 bedroom apartment in New York, a fucking studio, and you could barely afford it, just living check to check, but I got this place in the metaverse where I could own 8 mansions. What that really is doing is distracting me from getting those 8 mansions here. Who's gonna be the people here able to get those mansions? Is the Mark Zuckerbergs of the world. You know, like you over here distracted by the metaverse, and I'm gonna keep buying the land in real life where there's actual value, while you over there wasting your money. I even saw that they're trying to make like cryptocurrency, like the currency that you use in the metaverse. To get cryptocurrency, you got to use your actual money here to get cryptocurrency, to then buy a shirt that you could have bought here in real life, but you're buying it for your avatar. You know, like that's again like a place that I personally feel like is really meant is just gonna make the divide bigger.
I think. Oh, I'll start with statistical stuff to back up the statement about my views on it. Every time there has been a big advancement in technology for humans, it has taken more people out of poverty. Right? There's a lot of people that suggest if you want to fix the world in general, like say anyone that believes in climate change or global warming, is the quickest way to fix that problem isn't to cut off all the carbon emissions within the world. A quick way to do it is to make all the poor people, try to get all the poor people as rich as possible, as quick as possible. Because once they have money, they don't have to worry about what to eat next. They can worry about the climate. They can worry about their future generations. You know, poor people don't have the luxury, or extremely poor people don't have the luxury to care about a fucking candy wrapper in the street when they can't figure out what they're going to eat next, right? So the further and further, okay, for example, the elite of elites before in Hollywood was nothing but actors and producers, right? Nowadays, there's people like PewDiePie that's bigger than most media networks in the world, like Joe Rogan as well. One podcaster gets 11 million views per episode. CNN gets less than 1 million views per day. So it's like the further and further technology advances, people such as myself, such as you guys, are given more and more opportunities to take our families out of the situations that we were raised in and put them into a better situation. right? So when I'm expressing that I view social media or the metaverse as a net positive, I'm explaining it in a way that 13-year-old kids from the boondocks can take care of their mothers in the future. I'm expressing it in a way that humans are becoming richer off of the fact these things exist. Granted, and this comes at the cost of some humans, because some humans can't take the pressure of social media. But those humans, the people, I don't say this in humans, fucking people, the people that couldn't take the pressure off social media, do you think the social media was the issue, or do you think it was something inherent to who they were as a person already? Like they suffered from depression or anxiety or whatnot already, and then something was social media was just a trigger, but something else would have triggered it eventually. Something would have been a catalyst to go, I'm not good enough. Something would have been a catalyst. I'm not tall enough. I'm not pretty enough. I'm not skinny enough. I don't have enough. My ass is not big enough. My titties is not big enough. My lips are too small. My hairline is crazy. Something else would have been a catalyst eventually, be it school or just all social media is just the outside world and what people think about you on some real shit. That's mostly what it is. And maybe we can argue that there's a limit to how much social I think advancing, that's more of an argument. How much social attention can people actually endure before they crack? I believe that's more of the question than it is the social media a distraction, because I believe
I think that's more on the character. I think that's a person's character.
Yeah.
Social attention is based on a person's character and how
Yes.
much you work on your character.
Yes.
You know, and by
So-
character, you know, like because you like defining stuff, I just mean like the way in which you treat others, the way in which you interact with an individual, with a stranger, with the person you love. Like that's what I mean by character. How much you cherish the people around you, the other beings that you live alongside of. You know, like how much respect you have. That's character. You know, like those people that lack character are gonna break when their talent takes them somewhere that they not, that their character can't withstand them in. Like that's just that's like.
And I also believe that you can have human and human connections without ever meeting someone in real life.
Nah.
I believe that
Nope.
Okay, let me get this off. Let me get this off. If I believe, I personally have a friend. I won't say his name because he probably wants to be private. He's a very private guy, and right now he is going through probably the toughest time he's ever gone through in his life. Right. I met him playing video games on Black Ops 2 in 2012. Right. So I've known this guy for about 10 years now, a decade. But the amount of time I spent either gaming with him or just talking or just shooting the shits with him over that decade of time, you gotta think, if I'm gaming like 3-4 hours a day, not a day, like 3 or 4 hours a week. Let's go 3 or 4 hours a week. And I'm gaming with a specific person 3 to 4 hours a week. We're not only gonna talk about just video games. That's not really what it's gonna be. And there's gonna be days where someone doesn't game, you're gonna be like, hey man, what's up, what happened? And they're gonna talk about their day, and they're gonna talk about shit that's going on with them. They're gonna talk about the fact that, hey man, my mom's is crazy. Or they're gonna talk about the fact that, hey man, I was watching a new Spider-Man movie, or be it whatever, right? And then you start to realize that go, continue.
That's a human interaction. Like that's why I said no to you. Like that like opening yourself up to somebody else, showing the vulnerable parts of you, whether it's over the phone, on a headset, that's a human interaction, so that's why I said no to you, because though you wasn't physical, like it wasn't a physical touch, it was an emotional touch. And that's what makes us human. Like that's what takes us to that next step. That's what divides us from fish and I'm not gonna say dogs, because there's still some animals that have that too. So I'm not even gonna go there, but that's a human interaction.
Okay. So my point with that narrative, the reality of that happening recently, where this guy's texting me basically this guy's in the worst point of his life. the worst point in his life that he's ever been, right? And me and another friend that we also met through there, we're every day there. We're on top of him to make sure he's good, whatever you need, this and that or whatever. And like you said, these are human interactions that you're having without actually meeting the person. You know what I mean? And if you can connect to someone without having to physically be there, there's an advantage to that. That means that we are more than just our physical being. Javon, go ahead. I know you're just foaming at the mouth to start speaking right now. Go ahead.
Nah, it's just like that's good, and it can happen, right? But are most people's relationships online like that? No. And imagine if that's all you had. Like that's the world they're trying to construct, where everything is online. So, and for us, it's hard to conceive because we didn't grow up like that. But yeah, we're gonna have a generation where they want to normalize that, like your life is online. So imagine you have a whole generation of people that have no friends in real life. All their friends are on the metaverse.
Yeah, but the thing is, and I'm not sure if I'm making a point for you or if I'm making a point against you. We don't know what that makes. If I can give an example, if I can give you an example of a friendship that's basically as real as any other friendship I have in reality, outside of the fact that I physically seen the person or I know what the person looks like, but I physically touched the person or whatever, hugged them or whatever, but I can start a friendship that I hold dear and I care for the person. I don't see how's that any different from a person I met before at one point in my life.
Because in a pinch, when you need something in the real world and they can't be there for you, like let's say there's an emergency.
But that's usefulness. I'm not characterizing humans or people by how useful they are towards me. I'm talking about the human connection between humans. You can't. I think you gave me an example like this before, and I found the way to baby, your mom. Jesus, I'm sorry about that. Fucking A, man.
Mexican woman.
Yeah, man. Jesus.
Listen,
your
bro.
name's Veronica now.
I'm back. So the point I was making, you made a point to me before, Javon, that a car is good, right? And to that point that you were making before about a car is good, you were wrong. And I told you you were wrong, and you were, in my opinion, befuddled by that statement. And I nailed it down on what I really meant by that. A car is not good. A car is useful. And it's only good or useful to if a human exists. A car in a vacuum by itself is worthless.
Well, cars only exist in relation to us, so being like that's irrelevant if we weren't here, because they only exist because we exist. But I'm saying good from a values perspective. Like if I was using the car point.
But reality might only exist if we exist. What's the point of reality if we don't? Reality might only exist if we exist. So what's the point of even speculating on stuff that might not exist?
Wait.
Again,
what did you just say? You said
reality
only exists.
Reality would only exist if we exist. Because there's no point.
Not true.
Hold on, wait. Let me finish the point. There is no point on thinking of reality if we don't exist. So there is no net gain from thinking on something that only exists because of us.
I love how he thumbs up his own statement. You peeped.
I didn't mean to do that.
I still don't know how he does it. I'm still trying to figure it out, and to this day, I still can't. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, he really just thumbs himself up. Damn, that's some Sammy shit right there, bro.
Mid
right, mid thought. Before he even finished the thought, he knew it was gonna be a good one,
damn, that was a good point.
Zoom agrees with me already. Zoom wants the metaverse to be created, man.
He was like, I'm going somewhere right now with this one. Let me thumbs me up before I'm finished.
Mark Zuckerberg, bro, it's taking over.
There you go, man. All right, what we're talking about before distractions?
Before
reality. You saying reality
does not exist
if we don't without us.
I guess a better way to say it is reality doesn't matter if we don't exist. That's a better way to say it. Reality doesn't matter if we don't exist.
Like that's getting like if ands and like.
No, because
I disagree with that.
I'm going directly towards the statement that you said that cars only important in relation to us, which means that there's no
I said
inherent value to a car.
They only exist in relation
Because
to us.
of us.
Okay, but we can do a mental experiment where a car exists, right? And you just take humans away from the car. A tree does not lose its value if humans disappear, right? But a car loses value if humans disappear. The car ceased to be useful. I mean,
Yeah, saying,
the goodness.
But what I was talking about was values, and values only exist as long as humans. So that's why.
Yeah, that is true. Yes, that is true.
So that's why I was talking. That's why I said it's irrelevant, because we're talking about that. So I said the car is good because I was using the car to illustrate, based on values, you make a certain judgment. Car is good because if you value freedom, it could get you point A to point B. You don't gotta wait for a bus. You don't gotta wait for a train. You can leave when you want. So it's good based on the values. That's all I was saying about the value. Because I was asking you whether the metaverse is going to be good or not, and you say, well, it depends. But I'm like, well, based on your values and what you think would happen, what do you think? So that's the only reason I brought up the car.
Okay, I see what you're saying now. I think that based on my values, that the metaverse would take more people out of poverty if it's the next level of technology. So if that were to happen in the way I hypothesized that it would happen, then I believe that the metaverse would be a net gain for humanity in total.
I mean, I don't know how you.
Okay, so
getting people out of poverty, it's like, okay, but to do what though? So people are being rich on TikTok, doing what?
What do you mean?
Like, you know, like showing pointless videos that waste people. Like, okay, some of them are funny, some of them make you think, okay, but a lot of it is just people wasting their time doing shit that doesn't really matter at the end of the day.
Wait, but
like
if
people make hold on, I'm just saying the ways people make money on social media. Like, okay, you want to say they're making money, okay, even what they're the alleged value they're bringing, like what is. So you have girls like making money on OnlyFans. You got a lot of people playing video games. They don't even play video games. They watch other people play video games. Well, commentary on shit other people do. Like, what is it really that is being offered?
I'll scratch the OnlyFans thing off of that. I agree with everything else, but I'll scratch the OnlyFans.
Wait, hold on.
I think Jose has a point.
Hold up. I would like to say that I was the first one that predicted the rise of OnlyFans. We have a video where I talked about it specifically. So now I'm getting offended here. You're getting offended here. Hold up.
Yo, low key, I'm not gonna lie. Me and you have broken down a lot of things gonna happen like years before it happened, and then things start happening. And people are like, oh, you guys are fucking crazy. I don't know how to do that shit either.
Yeah, I don't know, bro. He's doing something.
You guys are fucking crazy.
I need to understand something because because Sam is arguing that social media gets people out of poverty, correct? I must step this one step at a time.
I believe that any advancement in technology, I'll give you an example, right? When 4G was created, I believe it brought like a couple $1 trillion of GDP to a country, the first country that got it. I'm pretty sure America made a couple $1 trillion off of that, and that lifted people off of poverty because now you have the internet, you have more access to jobs and whatnot, whatever connection you need to do, right? So anytime there's an advancement in technology, I want to be very specific on that phrasing. Anytime there's an advancement in technology where more people can get access to goods, it lifts more people out of poverty, and I think that is a net positive for humans.
It gives people more opportunity, like in this case, it will be TikTok, that although you guys are saying, because this is what I'm hearing, TikTok doesn't bring any value, whatever they're doing is useless. And although I agree with you with the whole dancing and OnlyFans, they're gaining wealth. They're gaining money because of it, and potentially getting out of a bad situation. So it seems like this is a moral thing. Like they're not giving value to society with OnlyFans. But I don't think it matters, because if I am in a bad situation, I'm using TikTok, although I'm not providing any. I'm no. What is this guy that you always listen to? Like I'm no. What is the guy that you always listen to, Sam?
Jordan Peterson.
Like I'm no Jordan Peterson, but if I'm in not OnlyFans, I'm in TikTok and I'm gaining money because of it and I'm getting out of a bad situation, does it matter that much that I'm not doing anything philosophical, bringing like world value? I don't know.
It goes even further than that. It goes even further than that. You cannot gain without cheating. I want to add the cheating part. You cannot gain wealth from individuals if you do not supply them something of value.
So you're saying
You cannot.
if they're not giving me value, your value, because this is value to you, because to them, girls
Yes.
love seeing all that TikTok dancing and all that stuff. They love that stuff, right?
Yes.
If it doesn't provide the value that you perceive, they shouldn't make any money off of it. That's what, because I feel like there's a disconnect here versus what you perceive morally, what you should value, and what they're adding. I'm confused about something here.
But it's like money at the expense. People are gaining money, and even that, how much people like. Okay, so I would say social media has broken down a lot of barriers in terms of like before you had to be on, like if you wanted to ascend in entertainment, you had to go to like these big networks, and now you don't have to do that. You can do it on your own because of the internet.
Which is a positive thing.
That is a positive, but it's like at the expense of what? Like remember, shit, in 2005, like how long ago was that? Like 15 years ago? If there was a big, like the Golden Globes or like some big event, the whole family gather in a living room to go watch that thing. Before the internet, everyone was in their little corner watching shit on the computer. That world was closer together than the world now. So
I disagree with that.
Okay. I'm just saying, okay, so people are making money, but at the expense of a world that's more divided and more torn apart.
Be 100% honest, this seems like an argument that this comes down to the individual, because I understand what you're talking about. What you're talking about, there's some families, they don't even eat together anymore. The kids come to the table, they just take the food and they go back to the room. But you could simply just tell your children, hey, when it's dinner time, we're all going to sit down together and we're going to eat.
Yeah.
Right. Now, let's use the example that Sam used with his friend, right? His friend is going through a tough time, he's going through depression. He had made a friend in Sam, and he talked to Sam. Now, your point is, well, he doesn't have that one-on-one real connection with someone that is available, which I agree. You need that, because I know plenty of people that, although they have friends that they talk to, they have cousins that are far away, they still want that connection with someone that they can go out. But to me, again, that falls down, that comes down to you. It is up to you to take responsibility that if you're going through a tough time, to be able to get the help that you need, and not rely on just one. Like everything to me, it comes down to you. The individual is the one that wants to stay in TikTok and watch it all day versus the individual that wants to make money off of TikTok, right? I think there's just the way you handle it.
Yeah, that's true. But then people also respond to incentive. So you got to understand that while it'd be better if people were incentivized to be in a world where they wouldn't have to make those choices, like where it'd be easier, because people most times are gonna choose path of least resistance. Is that's fact. So it'd be better if people lived in the world where like I knew my next door neighbor versus like everyone they know is on the metaverse.
But I think again that comes down to you though, because
I can't control if the metaverse exists. That's not on me.
I agree. No, hold up. I agree. You can't control, but it seems to me like you want to control people having access to those things. You don't want them to have it at all. With my thing is, have it. It doesn't matter. It's up to you to be responsible enough to know how to use it, because there is a bad side to this.
Also, before he interjects with that,
but
I want to add.
That's what.
Wait. Let me stop. I don't want to.
No,
I know you have a thought.
go ahead.
Hold on to that. I'm also gonna give another example that Javon used during our discussions, right? And he was like, essentially, whenever you, let's say, porn becomes so advanced, right, that you're basically stuck in VR porn, and you do it, and he's like, GG's, humankind is done, right? And my response to him was, okay, when's the last time you looked at porn and just never did anything again? You're on porn, you're on a porn site for about like 10, 15 minutes, depending on the individual. You're done what you have to do, and then you're moving on to whatever else you got to do. It's and don't get me wrong, there are rare individuals, extremely rare individuals. That's all they do all fucking day. But those people were predisposed, in my belief, those people were predisposed to fall under those kind of influences already. But for the vast majority of humans, that once you've eaten some food, and that food was delicious, it doesn't matter how delicious the food was, you will not eat beyond a certain measure of your capacity to eat, because you cannot take any more in.
That's not true, because they've done studies like, okay, I don't know if you heard of it, like, well, they'll give a rat like cocaine, and the rat will like ingest the
Rat
cocaine
Park.
into his eyes. Exactly.
Yeah, that's already been debunked.
I did a whole show that.
Yeah, but that has been debunked. Those rats weren't rats. Those rats were not rats in a natural environment. When they try to pick up.
That's my whole point. The metaverse is not a natural environment. If you create, because the cocaine is not addictive if the rat has community. So
has community and other options to do.
Exactly. So the more the world is in a way where you don't, it's like people are gonna nowadays, right? Most people, like, when they date, they go on dating apps. Now to go out and just talk to a girl is going against the grain. People still do it, but like, it's going against the grain, and most people are not going to do that. So I'm saying the more you make it that the streamlined choice is a dating app, the more people are going to use it. The more you make it so the streamlined thing is you have digital friends and no real ones, people are going to do that. And you can say, yeah, some people are going to rise above it, but the facts of the matter is most people aren't. So you got to construct in the world that's healthy for most people, because they're not going to be like, okay, like, most people should go to the gym, but they don't. Most people should be healthy, but they're not going to. And it also doesn't help that we have genetically modified food, and we have all this cheap bullshit that's not good for us. That doesn't help. They should, but they're not going to. So I'm just acknowledging
the process of humans making unhealthy choices have existed before any things have existed. People making bad decisions have existed since the dawn of humankind.
Okay, I'm just saying.
So wait. Let me give another. Because you gave me the anecdotal thing about the rats, right?
It's not anecdotal.
Yes, it is. They redid the experiment with monkeys. They redid the exact same experiment with monkeys, and they did it with alcohol and rum and water, and they found that only 5% of all the monkeys, and this is in a natural environment, only 5% of all the monkeys that were introduced to the rum and water drunk themselves into a stupor. The rest of the monkeys could do with
that's
or
not
do
a
without.
good. That's not a good one-to-one.
It is a good one-to-one, because
the rat one works because the rats were in an unnatural environment. That's my point. Even in a natural environment, some people
exactly. But what I'm saying with the rats, once they put them,
world we're making.
Okay, once they put the rats into a natural environment, none of the rats even touch the cocaine. Yes.
Exactly.
Okay, so what I'm saying is, with monkeys, which are much closer to who we are as people, and are much more personable like we are, when they did the exact same experiment with rum and water, so like that, almost
it's a different
all monkeys.
Experiment. You can't. Cocaine is a way stronger addictive thing than alcohol. You can't say that it's the same experiment.
You're right. Alcohol is actually more deadly than cocaine. You can look up all the studies about alcohol and
it's not as addicting.
It's as addictive. Alcohol is
give me a second.
We have there's more deaths to alcohol than almost any other deaths that exist in America.
Deadly, but I said addictive.
I don't know the scientific literature around how addictive something can be. I don't know how you measure that, so I want to really be able to have an argument with that.
But I'm saying it's not a good one-to-one, because I'm saying, okay, the metaverse is not addicting in a world where people are connected, and that's not the world we're in now. So if you introduce it like you did with the rats and the cocaine, more people are going to flock to it and they won't be able to put it down. So the monkey thing is irrelevant because their environment is natural. Certain people have certain proclivities, and that is what it is. So that's irrelevant because we're discussing the unnatural world that we're making.
Okay, I have a better one-to-one then instead of using drugs.
Okay.
My example would be the invention of the television. The original idea when the television was created was that people were surrounded on TV for too long. That people would just stay inside it, would just stay on the TV, and they called it the dumb box. And people were more separated. They weren't hanging out with people outside. They weren't doing that right. So we have a situation where people were more likely to not hang out with people within their neighborhood because of television. Can we all agree that this is something that happened?
Yeah.
Okay. Yes. Ish. Yes. Jose. Yes.
Yep.
Okay. The generation that grew up on the television, the IQ variation between them and their parents is, I believe the number is a 15-point variation, which is the difference between someone that finishes high school and someone that finishes college. So within the example where humans were able to eat more, and I look at it, more easily gather information, there was a net gain to what humans were able to do. They became more intelligent as a species.
What
So,
you're saying, from watching TV, they became more intelligent?
Any person that was bound to be intelligent already became even more intelligent because of the fact they had easier access to the information. There was about a 15-point deviation between them and their parents.
Okay.
And the further along that moves up, is going to happen more and more for kids. There are genius level kids just mastering Mozart at like 5 years old.
Okay, like, let's look. That sounds good in theory, but look at the world we're in now. Have you talked to fucking Zoomers?
Yeah, I don't know.
Retarded.
Wait. Why you said it like that? Like they're fucking. Wait,
Facts
who are
or no?
Zoomers?
This is why people hate me. Facts or no?
Wait, hold on.
I mean, it's crazy because I was actually talking to them like this weekend. So it was...
Yeah, bro, this is why I'm talking that shit. I fucking have you muted. What age bracket?
Delete that shit.
What age bracket is this boomer stuff?
Zoomer. How old are you?
I'm 23.
We were born in the 90s, I think. We were born in the 90s? Yeah, you were born in the 90s, right? Or you was born in 2000s?
I was born in 1998.
Like, we the cutoff.
Yeah.
So anything under us...
95? 95 is the cutoff?
Anything under us, you're a Zoomer.
Okay, Zoomer. And then it's millennials?
It's Zoomers, millennials, X, then Boomer.
And then the facts. Oh, sorry. I mean, the queers.
The queer.
What is that talking about?
What does that have to do with
my whole point, okay, because you were saying it makes people smarter. We can just look right now at niggas a few years younger than us. Do they seem smarter to you? Facts or no?
Sorry,
you disagree with me?
In all fairness, wait. These people aren't adults yet. It's not fair.
Okay,
they're not adults. They are not, bro. Hold on. We went to school with fucking literally Jose and Macho. Some of the dumbest niggas I've met before in my life.
Okay.
Don't disrespect them like that. They not
at that age. I don't think
because that's a little bit of.
No, but my point is it's not really to disrespect them. Is that at that age we were all fucking dumb and we thought we knew more than we knew. And
see how you're like skirting my issue.
Wait, but a decade later, hold on, Javon, compare yourself a decade ago to who you are now.
No, okay, but that's not my point.
How much more retarded were you a decade ago compared to now?
I was never retarded. I was always smart.
You were. We all were. A decade ago, we thought we knew.
Bro, speak for yourself.
We thought we knew more shit.
Smart. This is about IQ.
I'll say something. If I compare myself now to a decade ago, I was fucking virtually stupid.
I was getting 95s in my region, so yeah, don't disrespect me.
All
I
right,
was
well,
also
if you get a 95 in a
Don't-
class full of stupid people, then it's
Don't-
still a stupid test at that point.
Okay, look. Whew.
Don't disrespect me like
Whew.
that. Just because you was dumb doesn't mean I was, all right?
Look. Whew. Look, I still live in New York City, and the amount of retards that I encounter in the city is insane, and
The
they're
whole
older than
city
me.
is dumb. The
The whole
whole
city is a
dumb.
bunch of dumbasses. I have a
we could get. I don't. We don't want to get into that. But my point is with Zoomers. Are Zoomers smarter than us or no?
I'm saying it's not fair because they're not adults yet to
You
even
don't
compare
wanna.
it.
You sound like
It's not a fair
You don't
it's not a
wanna
fair
answer your
comparison.
point.
no, but it's
It
not
is
fair.
fair.
You gotta admit it's not right. It's not
It's
fair.
not fair. It's a decade. There's a decade difference.
Bro, but they don't be knowing basics.
But within
Like you
bro,
brought up,
Decade difference.
bro, I
But,
bet
like-
Zoomers don't know what Pokemon is. These guys are
No,
retards. We know that.
that's not what I mean by when I say they dumb. I'm talking like, who was our first president? Who, like, when did Columbus come? Like things like that. Most of them don't know.
Okay. How many people? Okay. But here's a good question. How many people around our age do you think know how to tie a tie?
Shit, I don't know how to tie a tie, but that's
Exactly my
I'll tie-
fucking point. If
I'll
you go
tie a
someone
tie
a
for
decade,
you right
if you got
now.
someone a decade older than you, almost everyone knows how to fucking tie a tie. Are you stupider than the decade in front of us?
Plus,
You-
that's a bad way of.
And no, I don't think so, because that was
Different
like a
time, was it?
necessity for that.
Yeah,
time.
that's what I'm saying.
The
You
times
needed to
have
know.
changed. Yeah, times have
But
changed.
needing to know basic facts about like the world and the country you live in, that's different than tying a tie. Are you
Well,
talking about what basic?
Which fact do you believe?
I don't think
What
so.
fact
I
do you
don't think so.
believe? What
believe
fact
what?
do you believe people don't know now that should be common for them to know? I think the
basic.
interpretation of the facts are different. Yes, but I believe those facts are still there, and people just look at those
I
facts
know I'm
differently than we do.
right. You're not saying that no,
Like-
Javon, you're wrong. You're trying to
No.
make it. Oh, but
No,
you
yeah.
gotta think about you're making qualifications for it, not just saying, well, no,
No,
that's not.
No, I'm saying you're making a misnomer. You're the comparison you are doing is a decade of advancement, a
No, I'm
decade
not
in difference
talking-
of maturity.
I'm talking about niggas a few years younger than me. I'm not talking like 16. Obviously, I'm not talking about 16-year-olds. I'm talking about people like a few years younger. I could just notice a difference. Like they just don't know basic shit that people my generation know. I'm not talking about 16-year-olds, obviously.
Yeah, but I think that's
Even them, I compare 16-year-olds to even me at 16. I'm like, something's up.
Yeah, but I think that's a
Let's
bad way of
Let's see
measuring.
what this has to say, because we've cut off Ish a couple times.
No, yeah.
Yeah.
I just like back to that idea of like tying a tie versus like facts. You know, like I think it was a necessity to know how to tie a tie. So someone of that generation will look at you for not knowing how to tie a tie and be like, yo, you're dumb. Like you should know how to dress to a T, because like when you go to a job interview and all this other stuff, you need that. What does knowing when Columbus came to America, like how is that a need for me? I don't need to know that. You know, like there's not a need to know why, like when he came here, other than passing the
knowledge,
regions that we had to
the
take.
fact,
You know,
yeah.
like
That's it.
Yeah, plus I think that's a poor way of what is it, measuring intelligence.
because
It is a poor way of measuring intelligence.
Because there's like intelligence of the brain, but there's also intelligence of the body. You know, like
Yes, spatial awareness.
like there's people who can dance that is like their intelligence of how to move their body, use their body, and just like he said, spatial awareness
Like
is
that.
ridiculous. And then there's somebody else who could sit down and be in jeopardy and like answer all those facts. So like I think
like
intelligence
more like
that as
robotic,
like
yeah.
a decline.
Hmm?
Like okay, so a generation ago, most of us knew basic facts about our country. Now they don't. You don't see that as a decline?
I think a whole decade ago, our country was a completely different place. You know, like those facts that we had to know 10 years ago are being questioned now.
That is true. Also,
So
I also have a question. I also have a question for Javon. The question is this: which do you value more, a lesson or a fact? Which one is more important for humans, lessons or fact? And for an example of, excuse me, a lesson would be, let's say, don't wish for whatever, don't wish for something, you know, or whatever saying is. You wish for something, you might actually get it. So you might not, something you might not wish for it, because when you get it, you don't even know what to do with it, or it becomes the worst thing you've ever had in point in life, right? Or just any basic lesson, right? Or a fact that Christopher Columbus came to America. Which one is more valuable? Because the Bible is nothing but lessons.
A lesson or
almost, and there's a lot of it. If you try to read the Bible as a factual document, you lose the value of the Bible. So which one is more important?
I mean, I disagree with the fact. A lot of things in the Bible are factual, but even beyond that, I guess to say, well, because both of them kind of are irrelevant, because to gain a value from a lesson and facts, you still need like Jordan Peterson talks about, like, or you've heard it in many debates with atheists and like religious people, like you can't derive an ought from an is. So you can tell me a fact that like cars can take me from point A to point B, but if I have no, well, what ought I do with that, it doesn't matter. So you can teach me a lesson of like, you shouldn't steal, but if I have no guiding system, it doesn't really matter. You get what I'm saying?
No, I don't. I don't know what you're saying, because there's a lesson in the idea of
Oh no, but
call to
even a
adventure.
lesson. Okay, so I'll say
All culture adventures, for example, all
I'll say
culture
a lesson. I'll
adventures.
say lesson.
Okay. That's your choice. A lesson is more important than a fact.
Right, yeah, because for a lesson you need an ought and an is. So yeah.
Sure, and we can say that people get their lessons at different points in their lives. So even though we might, you gotta think, these kids, when they went through stuff like 9/11, or if they went through stuff like
They
9/11,
didn't go through it.
okay, but if, you know, or the recession, they don't understand the impact of it. They don't know. They haven't had their lesson yet. But lessons are the great equalizer of the world, and lessons are abundant within culture. So lessons will come to these people just like lessons have come to us at different points in our lives.
I mean, well, the fact that we're in a society that is delaying that more and more is an issue.
What do you mean delaying? Delaying what? Delaying lessons?
Yeah, because again, I'm not talking about people that are 16. I'm talking about people that are like 21, 23. I'm not talking about like little kids. Like I just talked to them and I noticed, in my opinion, a lot of Zoomers, they're more like, this used to be this is a problem in general, because our society kind of makes us this way. But a lot of them, in my opinion, they're more like just vacant.
Number what?
Vacant,
Like empty.
empty.
In my opinion.
I see what you're saying. You know, I was having a discussion with my girlfriend about one of her friends that claims that she's an atheist, and I told my girl that, I told my girl that I believe that her friend isn't an atheist, because I believe the religious experience is something inherent in all humans. It's something you can't get rid of. I believe that even if you try to become the most logical being, like you try to become a Sam Harris, right? If you watch a debate between Sam Harris and Jordan Peterson, Jordan corners him with the idea that the highest value that you can aim to achieve is what you would call God. Because if you try to take that value system away from there, then you have nothing to do. You are stuck within a vacuum, for instance, right? So anything you look at, if you look at something, if you look, speak, think, act, or whatever, before you're able to do any of those things, you have to you have to enact value, or you have to see value in doing any of those things first, right? So in that moment, you are doing something religious in nature. You are saying this is worth doing, so I will do. And that inherently is what religions press people on to do. And this is why religions have lasted for so long. And I see that a lot of people that exist now, I want to say they're vacant, is that their God isn't solid enough. Right. They might not be as full. I won't say vacant. For instance, a lot of people that believe in global warming, in my experience, a lot of people that I've met or I've seen on social media have also expressed they are also atheists. But then their highest value becomes
who's doing that thumbs up?
I don't know how he's doing it.
I'm not doing shit, bro. You see, I'm down here. Look, I'm down here. I'm away from
he got that shit set up right on the mouse. So whenever you see his hand go down, he click.
I don't know how he's doing it now.
I don't know how I'm doing it, man. But
like your girlfriend, she's like, good point, babe, and like hands up.
Oh no, she's somewhere else doing something. But where are they going? So the highest value. Yeah, so their highest value at that point is the sustainability of the earth. That becomes their God. But the sustainability of the earth is such a broad term, and I think Jordan made a good point on this. When you speak on climate means everything. So when you speak about climate, the word becomes so big, it virtually means nothing, right? Because you can say that the earth is going up a couple of degrees, but you can also say there's more Arctic ice and polar bears are thriving. Is that not good for the climate? But people would argue no, because ice caps are melting. So he made an argument about variables within the debate, but outside of that point is that no matter what you do, no matter what kind of value structure that you create, you will have a top value structure that you always rise towards, that you'll always try to hit, right? Be it money, success, whatever. But whatever the highest value structure is, that becomes your God. And once that becomes your God, that leads you down a road on how you will live the rest of your life. So for Christians, and this is where I believe that Christians actually did something right with this, is that Jesus and his sacrifice and his pursuit of goodness, that becoming their God, led the world, because it is a global thing that actually happened. It led the world into a direction where pursuing good and pursuing sacrifice and trying to do not just better for yourself, but better for others around you, it did create one of the best countries in the world that exists today. That exists today within America.
Jesus wasn't global. I just want to clarify that.
It wasn't global?
Jesus was not global.
How so?
If you really want to get into it, it was very much in Eastern religion. Like Jesus was not a thing in South America. Like it wasn't a concept. Of the time of Jesus, they had no idea what Jesus, if you want to be factual on it, South America had no idea what Jesus was doing.
Yeah,
but nothing was also going on in South America at the time.
Yes, there was. There was a whole tribe and people living there before they got erased by the people who
they sacrificed kids that had green eyes to the sun. Nothing was going on in the South of America for the most part.
Yeah, but you were saying
until religion was brought.
I'm just clarifying what you're saying. I'm just clarifying what you're saying. And they have religion already. They had their own religion. It was sacrificing green eyes to the
thing before the Europeans came there.
Yeah, that. They had their own thing. It wasn't. I'm just saying that what you're saying is not global.
Jesus,
but his message is global.
His influence is global. His influence in global, and on virtually almost every thriving state that exists today, any thriving country that exists today takes some of their laws or examples from the Bible. That's an irrefutable fact. Any thriving state or country
that's No, that's because of colonialism. You know, like that. That's erasure. That's what that is. You know, like, and I'm speaking from a place where I read the Bible and think of the Bible and see the Bible,
Mhm.
but I understand that what what where it came from. You know, like it's you're there's a whole erasure of people whose voices were shut down because of the Bible.
Sure,
You know, like,
but
so
here's
that's what I'm saying. Like
here's a
at the
counterpoint to
time
that.
of Jesus, it was not
Mhm.
global.
Here's a
Is all
counterpoint to
I'm
that, right?
saying.
Do you believe that had any of the cultures that had any, had any cultures that got colonized by Europeans, if they had a better system, the Europeans would have taken that system instead?
Say that again.
Europeans Europe or
I like
countries in
how I
Europe.
like leaned in, but I got headphones on.
You have headphones on, yeah. They were the most dominant force within the world. Yes, but so was Rome at one point too, before it became the Roman Catholics, right? So it's not like at the time there was 12 people. They kept this thing rolling. Rome, the biggest power in the world at the time, became obviously the Roman Catholics. But that wasn't the predominant religion. It didn't begin with erasure. It became, if we're going based off the tool analogy, Christianity at that time was the best tool, and it became adopted. That's what happened. It became adopted. The Romans ran with it, and it spread across the world, right? But just like what did the Romans begin to believe at the time? They was like Greeks, right? So they believed in Zeus and whatnot, I believe, Apollo and stuff like that. So had Christianity stumbled across another religion somewhere out there in the world, right? Excuse me. And there's obviously counterpoints. You can make the counterpoint for Muslims, I think, but they both come from the same branch. Essentially, they both come from Judaism. So that Abrahamic beliefs. Okay, we'll go there, right? If there was another system that was better than that system, those systems wouldn't have flourished to the way they did, because Christianity initially was only 12 people, and you had a country, an empire that was built on different beliefs, and Christianity won out because I believe it was the better tool. Then when you brought those same tools other places, if those other places have better tools, you adopt those tools. That's what happens. No one's using dial-up internet anymore in America because it would make any sense. You introduce a new tool, people decide, you know what, this tool kind of fucking rocks. I'm gonna use this tool. They use the tool, and then that tool continues to flourish and continues to
Yeah,
flourish.
but
And
yeah,
continues to flourish.
you're writing that the way you're glorifying that. You're glorifying that tool is what you're doing. The way you presenting it right now, because that's
You're probably
not what
right.
happened. You know,
Okay.
like it was forced upon people to the point that generations, that's all they knew. They forgot what they had and only knew, like, it was the only option.
So you're
Versus
trying.
like, yeah, this is what we're doing, this is what you're doing, choose. No, like, what you're doing was destroyed, erased, taken, and used as my toilet seat. Like, it didn't even give the other people an option.
So you're trying to say that deep state is going to force people into the metaverse by
Oh my
saying that
God.
Christianity.
I mean, I was thinking that because that is a good way to
Hey, think about it, right? Deep state.
Exactly, it's the
Then
same thing.
Then the metaverse is going to
Oh
be the new
my God.
Christianity.
Exactly.
Yeah, now we're talking. What if they create a Jesus act avatar in the metaverse? Because they could create Jesus.
Why not?
They could create Jesus and the 12 disciples. Think about that. Hey man, I'm just saying. I was just trying to bring it back because we went to other religion. I'm like, I gotta bring these motherfuckers back. I gotta bring them back.
Good job, man.
All
We
right.
gotta bring it back.
Yeah, I still think Apple's idea before they started actually supporting the metaverse was probably a better idealistic way of using it.
Augmented reality. I
Yeah.
believe the metaverse is the natural evolution of humans.
Let's see how that works.
I think it's a logical step. I also talk about this in a lot of podcasts with money. I think I've also talked about it with in the idea of language, right? I believe, okay, for humans, it became drawings. It went from drawings to words, like spoken word, then to language, right? So you can build up a community around people. You can make a community more social, right? Then it became fucking mail. Then it became email. Then it became social media, and it's like the evolution of humans becoming more and more social amongst each other across as far as they can globally, right? That it seems like that's what's been happening.
It's an advancement in communication, not an advancement in socialism. I mean, well,
Not
not
socialism,
socialism.
not socialism.
The allowance to be social or whatever. Like,
yeah, I know.
because to be social versus to be able to communicate is different.
Explain how they're different.
Because to be social is to share space, to be amongst one another, like to have that human connection. And that's different than communicating. Communicating is a text message. It's text that expresses.
I don't believe you can be social without communicating. So I think that's a bad example. You cannot be social without some type of communication. Even human connection is some form of communication.
Yeah, but email, text message, all of that is an advancement in communication.
But to advance communication, you're advanced communication for what? To become more social.
I gotta sit on it. But I do feel like there's something different. And my heart's telling me there's a difference in that.
Okay.
So I gotta sit on it.
Jose, let's hear one of your jokes.
Oh, I got nothing, bro. I got nothing right now. I don't know. I think I'm still thinking the same thing. I think it depends how you use it. Depends how you use it.
Okay.
It can be a horrible thing.
Can I go through a different topic?
Yeah. I mean,
we could go to a topic. Yeah.
What you want? What you want? You want me to give you one? You want me to think about one? You want one for yourself?
Because I know you was talking about. Well, you said high value man.
Oh
earlier.
yes, let's get it. Mom, give me the vodka. Give me the vodka. Let's go.
I just want to hear your opinion on all that stuff.
See, I'm no longer a high value man. I'm a liger. I am a tiger.
Shut the fuck
and a lion.
Shut the fuck up. I hate this guy, man.
Yo, this stuff is hilarious to me, bro. I love this shit because it's hilarious. But anyways.
Before you go, hold on. We don't got to keep going. Sam, did you ever get vaccinated?
Hell no.
Okay. All right. That's what I want to know. Keep going.
Okay. Well, repeat the question. What you want to know about this shit? This shit is amazing.
I'm trying to hear your take on it.
Oh, on the high value thing, I mean, look, I think what it is just men are worrying. I think men worry too much about that stuff. Personally, if I'm giving you my serious views on it, men worry too much about this whole high value man thing. You have guys that are like making like
wait. I'm sorry to interrupt. You have to define what high value man is.
Oh, you want me to people to find it?
Define it first, yeah.
I already.
No, we all know.
I'm a little lost on it, but
so basically, a high value man is a term that has been popularized by a guy named Kevin Samuels. The way he defines it is a man that is making over 6 figures for a period of 3 years to 5 years, because anyone can have a lucky year. It's a man that is recognized by other high value men, by men of status, meaning that if you're recognized by people, I don't know, I'm just gonna throw names. I know you don't like them, but like Mark Zuckerberg, Elon Musk, guys that are up there, if you're recognized by them, that gives you status. What else? You have to be useful, right? You cannot be a high value man if you're not useful to the group. You need to be able to provide something to this whole high value man thing. So I think that's most of the things that he says about it. I agree with that definition. But yeah, that's what a high value man is.
A lucid definition is kind of like, it's the man every man wants to be inside the room, Like
Yes.
you see someone, and you can kind of tell the social structure amongst people within a room, and he's the guy that basically at the top of the room, and everyone wants to be that guy. He also gets all the food, all the money, and all the women. So
Yeah. Yeah. You don't have to be exactly the main man, but you could be recognized by that. So that's what a high value man is, right? So basically, after he popularized it, there's a bunch of men who are just running with it, who are just calling themselves high value men without actually having any of the criteria by it. Like they're making 30K. They're just high school kids, or they're just college kids that want to be
You
seen
gotta
as
speak
higher than they
into
are.
existence.
I mean, yeah, but for God's sakes, bro, if you're living at your mom's house, you know what I mean, like on welfare, and you're talking about you're a high value man and women ain't shit, you know that is a little bit, yeah, you're fucking retarded.
it's taking because it's taking a toxic turn, because I know
Yeah.
I kind of feel like I know where Ish is going to go with his comments. It's taking a left turn. It's become anyone can be a high value man if they feel like their time is worth it. They value their time, but that's not really what it is.
No.
A high value man, it's more static than it is loose, and the term is being used more loosely to just fit any man that believes he's worth more.
Yeah, it's like, for example, the whole alpha male and sigma male. A sigma male is basically a term that guys made up. If you're a loner and you're like this, this alpha guy, but you don't have the social reputation, right? So you're like, oh,
But the
you're a,
thing
you're a
is,
sigma because you're alone. You're
and the,
lone wolf type shit.
and the thing is, all these guys are fucking losers.
Exactly.
The fucking alphas, the sigmas, the betas, the gammas, the soy boys,
The
whatever fucking
omegas.
term, whatever fucking term you want to use. If you have to use a term, you have to look. It's like the LGBTQ, but for fucking straight men. It's fucking weird. I think the whole idea of it is so. The original term of it, I understand the original term of it, but the way it's becoming bastardized.
Yeah, it's
and,
bastardized.
and
Even
yeah.
Kevin Samuels talks about how it's just being bastardized, and he hates how guys just use it so loosely. Sometimes he has men come on to the show and they talk, and he asks them like, "Are you a high value man?" They're like, "Yeah." All right. How much money do you make a year? It's like, "Oh, I'm still in school." And he's like, "You're not. Like, what? Why? You're not who you say you are. Why are you such in a rush to become that?"
That's what I'm saying.
Honestly, it's
Yeah.
like the way I describe it is this thing is what is the thing girls like?
Horoscope.
The horoscope for men. It's this Sagittarius, alpha male.
Oh shit. That's such a good way to describe it.
That's what it
a
is.
Horoscope for men.
That's exactly what
hilarious.
it is. It's stupid. I love it because it's stupid. Because
What's your
fucking
take on the
hilarious.
whole
That horoscope for men.
What's your whole take on the red pill thing, red pill community in general?
oh my god,
Ridiculous.
It has a use. I think it has a new. Interesting enough, it's in a way like the metaverse. It can be a positive thing, but I think it has a lot of toxic elements. And if you're a man that you got hurt for whatever reason, and you go into the spaces, you will lose the value that a woman brings to you. You will start thinking that a woman is only a negative and a hindrance to you, and that marriage is bad. That any woman that has slept with anybody is useless. If she's above 30, she's useless. Again, it's just honestly, it's just a bunch of losers. It turned into a point that if a man asked me, "Hey, dude, what do you think about the red pill community?" I would say, "Listen, bro, just go on with your life and figure it out, because that thing is gonna ruin you." I don't see much positives at this point. It's just nonsense.
Really, like, I think at a point it was, but now it's just I hear just victim mentality.
Yes, at some point it was, because I think me, Sam, I think if all of us were to sit down, we would find some positives in it. There's some things that you can say, yeah, that's true, that's true, that's true. But there's a certain like victim, this whole like, if you're not 6 feet tall, if you're not making six figures, girls don't look at you. Like, what are you talking about? That's not true at all.
I feel like the main issue with that community is their value. And this is why I look at them like bitches, and I'm serious, and I mean the word bitches. I don't mean fucking females. I mean even worse than females. When I think that community of people that are like really tied into it, they're a group of bitches. Because just like OnlyFans, only value that women have in OnlyFans is the value that a man places on that woman. That's how they make their money on OnlyFans if you're selling pornography and whatnot, right? So most of them are feminists, and you know they say they want to be free from the realm of men, but all their money still comes from men. Their popularity still comes from men. Everything about it is still men driven, right?
It's like
now it's the same.
thing
Now it's the same thing for Red Bull, right?
Yeah.
The same thing for Red Bull. All their value comes from other men. The inherent value comes from the fact that men are losers and they can't get fucking bitches. Right. So since you can't get bitches,
it's not even coming from men. It's coming from women. That's what like they say they don't want to be around women, but then
actually, hold up. I think it's worse than what Sammy's saying. Their value comes from women.
Yeah,
they value themselves on what women have to say. And I'm not saying that this is not like a real man alpha male shit. As a man, you shouldn't care what a woman thinks of you. They're talking about that. Oh, I want to have genuine desire
without justification. You have to add that.
Yes.
Without good justification, there is no reason to just value anything a woman has to say about you or think about you.
It's they have this whole like, I want immense desire. Like they want women to. It's like they want attention so bad from women. It's like, why do you care so much? You shouldn't care that much. It's not that big. It's not that deep, man. It's annoying. I think it's worse. It's worse. If your whole value is from females, your whole value structure. That means if you're a successful man, but females don't value you, I'm not successful. It's weird.
You know what's funny?
I just wanted to ask because I feel like whenever it comes up, I see your eyes like light up. So I wanted to see
because honestly, man, listen, I don't know how I ended up in like one of the subreddits. And the stuff that they post is amazing to me. I'm over there laughing my ass off. They're complaining about females left and right. I'm like, look at your faggot ass. Are you complaining about every little thing?
It's dweebs, bro. It's
so
I think I talked to you about this before, man. And, you know, it's crazy because initially when you brought this topic to me, it made me feel as if you were part of the Red Pill community all day. Initially. No. And it kind of was too, because bro, you listen to a lot of people that seem to be of that community. Too many people that seem to be of that community. And I think we had a discussion about, you know, like people in high school, they weren't able to get girls or whatnot. Like they just didn't do the right things. And I was like, well, that's because they probably really didn't try hard enough, or they kept doing the same stupid mistakes.
No,
and I used an example.
Go.
No, I used the example. I used the example of me, and where I was like, well, I can only speak for myself, but I have friends that there was no point in their lives where they found it difficult to get a woman. But most of those people that I knew were men that didn't derive their value from women in the first place.
My whole thing was I was trying. Yes, like there was a time that I dove into the whole community, and some of the stuff I didn't really agree with it, but it was interesting to me, and that's what I stayed. That's why I still follow Kevin Samuels, although he's not really like a red pill guy. I mean, it was just interesting to me. It was just really interesting with the talking points and this and that. But I was just, when I was making the arguments for them, I was trying to understand where they were coming from, and I was trying to make the arguments for them. So the argument with the school thing was that I think I was telling you that some men don't have a male role model that they can ask this type of questions, and it makes men seem a little lost, because I think sometimes females are really harsh on men when they get rejected, and some men don't know how to handle it. Like, your females expect me to be good at this thing that I'm not good at, but I don't know where to go to ask for help, and that's what leads to the red pill community. I'm not for them. I'm just trying to think the way they will think, and I was trying to like relay that. Yeah, that's what I was doing. It was not I was part of it, although it still is amazing. I mean, I love that. I love this shit is hilarious to me. I mean, Sigma male. I'm a liger. I'm neither a tiger or a lion. I'm a different breed. Like, bro, come on. This is amazing. This is amazing.
There's some ridiculous things I've seen where men are just it's like they're trying to overcompensate for their inaccuracies, you know?
Yeah.
Like, Jesus, relax, bro. It's not that deep.
Not that deep. But yeah, that's
why I
light
laid
up.
Or something.
That's why I light up. Actually, let me ask this real question. Do you guys think that what is that? Then men should pay for the box? I feel like
Oh,
so
send
much,
it, send that Ish, because Ish is not talking right now.
yeah, and
Ish, do you think men should? Wait, what do you mean? What do you mean by men should pay for products?
pay for
Like a
the
prostitute?
Do you
yeah,
think it should be illegal, like prostitution?
yeah, sure, let's go that way. Or escorts, high level escorts. What do you think about that? You think that's bad for men for them to be paying for that? Because I think you have a bad view of OnlyFans, and it seems to me,
No, who, me?
yeah, you don't like OnlyFans?
No,
Oh,
I don't got a bad view for it. Like
Oh.
here's my thing. My thing is
They're my girls.
is you a person should have the right to do what they want with their body.
Okay.
You know, like if they enjoy, if
Uh-oh.
they're enjoying, like, and like you said, because you brought it up, like OnlyFans, it is like a little like gray area when it comes to like patriarchal and like women trying to get away from like men's like gaze and all that. But OnlyFans allow them to get something out of it.
Yeah.
You know, like this is my body. You want to look at it, well, you got to pay for it.
But you think it's good for men? You think it's good for men?
There's men's doing it too, bro. I saw some shit, some dude with his dad taking naked photos for OnlyFans and getting their money too, bro.
That was
like,
not where I was going with the conversation, but interesting.
Like yo, bro, like it, but it's catered towards women. Like you think of OnlyFans, it was a platform for women to like get their money. That's nothing wrong, and I don't think there's anything wrong with prostitution either. You should, if that's how you want to use your body, go ahead, do it. Now the only thing is in the harm of others is the harm of others. If you out there being a prostitute and you spreading diseases to everybody, there's an issue there. You need to get yourself checked, make sure you're a healthy person, so that when you doing business with somebody else, you're not passing nothing that shouldn't be passed. You know, like you should not do it in the harms of others, for the harms of others.
And you think men, and men is fine. If men wants to pay for it, that's fine with you. You don't have a problem with men paying for it. Think that's bad for them?
There's an issue for it if it's a business, if it's transactional. If I'm paying, if I'm giving you bread for it and you satisfying me and it's a healthy transaction,
I don't believe there's a good argument. I don't believe there's a good argument against prostitution being legal. I don't think there's a good enough argument someone can make where it's like the only way someone can argue against it is a moral situation. But if you take away all the danger from it, like you put in laws where no harm, can't spread diseases, they have healthcare to make sure they have access to always make sure they're clean and stuff like that. They're guarded so no one's out here slaughtering prostitutes and stuff like that. There is no legal or the only way you can go is morals, and that just comes down to the individual. But I can't think of any substantial way to argue against prostitution being legal or not, or being illegal.
I mean,
sex. Real quick. Sex is just as much needed for survival as water. Because without sex, the world dies in 50 years.
No,
if everybody stops having sex, we disappear. No, we disappear, right? Without sex, we disappear. So it's just as much needed as we need water. Only thing is, water disappears from this earth, we dying in 3 days.
Exactly.
That's right. But here's the thing: water is legalized. We could like trade water. We could exchange water. I have water, the most important thing that we have in the world. But I could sell it for you for profit. Why can't I do that with sex? If it's just so that we can continue as a species, it's just as important as water is. So like it's one of those conversations that isn't publicized as much as it should be, because it's something that's accepted. We know that the reason we here is because two individuals did it and gave birth to us. It should be a normal conversation, but it's so taboo.
Here's a good question. Here's a good question for that. So it also kind of ties into the metaverse conversation, I guess. Is that, do you believe that if you have access to sex virtually whenever you have it, that there will be a spike in depression amongst humans?
Then you could,
because even though you're having the physical contact, there's something that comes with the physical contact. You know what I mean?
Wait,
Like you don't.
what was it? I didn't
Yeah,
hear you.
yeah. Can you say that again?
The question is, do you believe? And I guess it also ties back into the metaverse. And I guess this is also a point to you guys, that or to Javon specifically. Do you believe that if people would start having sex, after consensual sex whenever they wanted to, that the depression rates within people would spike?
Go up.
Because would spike, would go straight up, because even though they're having sex, the feeling or connection that's supposed to come with sex doesn't occur.
Yeah, that's porn basically. Yeah. And it's shown that
But-
porn causes depression and stuff like that. So yeah.
So okay, so I guess the question would be this. You see how social media has this depressive, or not depressive, it can be depressive to a lot of people. It can make a lot of people depressed and whatnot. Do you guys think that if you were to legalize, or world was to legalize prostitutes, do you believe that with the spike of it, the countries would start to make it illegal again if it were to become legal?
I don't think there would be a spike to it.
No, I don't think so.
I don't think there would be a spike to it of depression. If anything, that's going to help people with depression.
Yeah, I think so too.
Well, the prostitution, because
You think?
at least it's a real person.
Yeah, because I don't think, man. First of all, I don't think the average
it's a real
man.
person.
Oh wait, hold up. Now I'm getting because in Sam's example was that if prostitution was legal and men can get it, if men could have sex whenever they want, people have sex whenever they want, it will spike depression because there's not that physical connection. It's just the sex.
It's just there's no extra connection outside of it. That's what I'm saying.
No, but there is. There's gonna be an extra connection.
Wait, hold up. I need to clarify one more thing. One thing. The example that Sam is giving, we're talking about an actual real person, or we're talking about in the virtual world?
Talking about a real person, like you can
a real person.
Like that's what he's talking. Like just call a number.
Yeah, you can grab her. Yeah, like you said, you can grab her pussy. But my point to this is the main question I'm getting to is, if you were to grab her pussy, I guess
like an escort,
like an escort, continuously, and then
I think it would,
and then not get married or not have a relationship.
Exactly,
it cheapens it. Yeah, it makes the process of sex not worth it anymore, because it makes sex jerking off.
No, because I think the average man does not have the funds to grab her pussy. You know what I mean?
Well, in this analogy, it's cheap enough, because if you flood the market with something, the price will go down.
Yeah,
so
the price will go down. It won't be valuable anymore.
I mean, Kevin Samuels said that pussy.
I think we'd have overdoses. I think we'd have overdoses.
No, because
now that I'm thinking about it more and more, if you were to legalize prostitution, there will be more deaths from overdose.
No, because this is
how is that? Elaborate.
Wait, just because go ahead.
Because I was gonna say, with an escort, we're talking about females who, because okay, the price is gonna go down if a bunch of girls are doing it. It becomes legal.
Yeah,
but then there's certain things that might raise the price. For example, how if she's clean of any diseases, right? Let's just say she gets checked up and she can provide.
It will be illegal. And our example would be illegal to have sex with people if you had disease. People will still do it, but it will still be illegal. Yeah, the process of making it legal, just like alcohol and just like certain foods, there has to be certain regulations on it for it to exist, right? A regulation that would be on prostitution, if it was to exist, would be the regulation of every person that is allowed to participate within the escort, either being the consumer or the product, would have to be clean.
All right, but then now,
if you were to initiate sexual contact with someone and not be clean, you can go to jail.
All right, and now it comes down to beauty, because you're not gonna tell me that a 10 is gonna be worth as much as a 4. So now the price is still, the price is still gonna go up.
Range is dependent on the person.
Yeah. But it'll become standardized. Just like everything else. Everything becomes standardized eventually, depending on the.
I just don't think the average guys. I mean, if it's like $100,
like looks are subjective, but there are certain things that are universally.
They are objective. There's still objective beauty.
Yeah,
So-
there's things. No. There's things that people are gonna point to, right? Is the person
Weight.
20 or the person 30?
Yeah,
Is
exactly.
the person overweight or the person the exact weight they're gonna be? Or have how many babies have they had? Those things are gonna become standardized regardless of whatever. How symmetrical a person is gonna become standardized.
Right.
This person
But also,
perfectly
okay,
symmetrical or not?
Oh, but how
as
much
far
money are
as
we talking about here, though? How much is one worth? Like $100?
No, probably
affordable.
less than that. Probably like 50.
I don't know about that. $50?
Probably 50.
Nah.
Bruh,
If you
OnlyFans right now, how much is the subscription for OnlyFans?
No, we're not talking about OnlyFans. We're talking
like
about
10,
physical.
No,
13 bucks, right? Something like that.
but that's what I'm saying. You over here saying $50, bro. There's people paying $20 for a picture.
No, but
How much is a gram?
No, but
Wait. Let me make one point. How much is a gram?
Like what?
How much is a dime? $10. How much is a dub? $20, right? And the more legal you're making weed become, the cheaper it's becoming. So OnlyFans is the way it is because even though it's available to a lot of people within the market, people still have not fully embraced it yet. The moment that becomes fully if you go to Germany, in Germany it's not, they have a red light district over there and it's not that expensive. You go to I think Japan or something like that too. They have a red light district over there too, where sure there's some people that are extremely expensive, but there's other people that 6s or 7s or 8s. So people are messing with on a regular basis. That you spend more money taking a girl on a date in the first place that you will be willing to spend, and it would only get cheaper the more people go to it. And that's
But
just like weed. Weed will only get more cheaper.
Yeah,
Right,
but
Beer
I think-
is getting more and more cheaper. Water more and more cheaper.
I don't think that is ever gonna get to a point that is gonna be $10 a pop.
well, we're just
No,
saying,
bro.
maybe not $10 a pop.
Like, I don't know. Like,
okay, maybe not $10, but for the sake of argument, let's just say affordable, like something
Yes.
most guys can afford.
what is
No problem.
affordable? Give me affordable. I need a number. Because even that's a little bit.
Plenty
$100.
of people, like
50.
plenty of people, like they have cigarette habits. They spend more than that on cigarettes in a month or weed, all that shit.
Yeah, but it's
So,
different because how much is a cigarette right now? You can go to the
Like
corner
10
store.
a pack?
Yeah, but $10 is $100. But what I'm
Listen,
saying
man,
is,
I think
No,
$50
it's
an
more
hour
than
is fair.
10.
I don't
$50
think
an hour.
girls are gonna be. It's a little bit way too low
Bro,
for
I'm
me.
sorry, bro. Yes, that price is way too low, bro. You
But-
talking about a whole human being,
Nah,
Yeah.
man.
bro. Like you the way you describing it is like
Bro,
street prostitution.
wait, hold on. I think this is where this is.
But if
you-
once
you-
it
but you-
becomes
you guys
legal as
are-
a
Hold on,
business,
hold on,
bro.
You guys
Let's
are
not go.
overvaluing pussy.
No.
You guys are
No, I'm not, bro.
You're undervaluing the
no.
pussy.
Because here's the thing.
You know, undervalue
You
pussy,
talking about pussy? I'm talking
feminism.
about prostitution. It's two different things, bro.
I'm talking
Because
about something else
prostitution,
completely.
like, includes all spectrums. Because there's male prostitution, it's all of that. We talking
Okay,
about
I see. Okay,
prostitution as a
okay.
business. We talking
Mhm.
about prostitution as a business. That's the impact in the body for every time that person has to go out and put themselves in that situation. You know, that's travel that you're paying for. That's all of that, bro. Once it becomes legal, it's not gonna be $15 an hour, bro.
I said 50. I said 50 an hour.
Oh,
I mean,
50.
okay, but when you think about it,
50 an hour. I didn't say 50. I said
I'm like
50.
$15 an hour, bro.
Yeah.
$50 an hour. Sounds
No,
like the price
you know
of
why?
weed. $50 an hour. If
I
someone
mean,
works for
right,
8
when you think
hours,
about it, 'cause, okay,
someone
if
works
it
for 8
were
hours,
to
they made
become-
$1,300 that day.
when you think about it, if it were to become standardized by the government, wouldn't it's possible they have a minimum wage. There's plenty of people like an hour of your labor is $15. So it's not that
I'm
crazy.
saying $50.
Yeah,
$50
it's not
an
that
hour would
crazy.
probably would be the thing.
I'm thinking of something completely different. I'm talking about high-end escorts. I'm talking about girls who have a list of clientels that you gotta find. I'm not talking about your random hooker in the street.
For those women, for people like that would have to be the equivalent of a social media star today. They can't just work for a company. They have to work for themselves. And even if they work for themselves, the chances of you getting in contact with one of those women, even if you have money, becomes
it is slow.
infinitesimally smaller.
But now you
Okay,
but the thing is
Can
even
you just
if
give us one thing?
yeah,
Because I'm
go.
about
My
to be
bad.
outside, so
My
I'm
bad.
gonna wake up early.
Yeah, we can end it after
But,
this.
I think, in my opinion, the strongest argument against like prostitution, like you just said, with the negative effects it would have on society. Because our whole thing, if we're all built on sex, like you can't just be whatever about it, because there are a lot of negative consequences with that, way more compared to like if you drink or something. So it's like, but the strongest argument is like, no woman you care about you'd want to be a prostitute, right?
Yeah.
I
No
think
woman
amongst
you
us, I think amongst us, yes.
no woman
Yeah.
you cared about you'd want to be a prostitute.
Of course.
So I think in a world where you care about the woman next to you, like you wouldn't want her living like that. Like in a hypothetical, whatever. But if we're talking like real, like no woman I care about I'd want to live that life or be in porn or whatever.
Yeah, but that's the moral argument that I was saying. The only way
Yes,
you can argue is a moral
yeah,
dilemma.
exactly. But
Yeah.
most of our laws are based off morals.
That is true.
So yeah, but anyway, I gotta be out.
Yeah, we can end it here
I'm
actually.
leave on that W, on that high note.
Let's see, W.
We should. Well, we should hold a podcast where I scrape y'all motherfuckers in Smash Brothers, just so we can show your audience how much.
Do you have the Switch?
I got my Switch here, ready and loaded.
You have online?
Loaded.
You have online?
I got all the characters for y'all bum ass niggas who don't buy all the characters.
Yeah,
Right?
maybe.
This nigga got to use fucking Banjo and Kazooie or some shit. Can't use normal people.
Hold on. I'm looking for something. I just bought the new Pokemon game, Arceus. Or Arceus.
I did too. I haven't touched it yet.
Yeah, I'm about to
Have you touched
run
it
that
yet?
game. No, I haven't opened my shit up yet.
What is it called?
Bro. All right, I'm gonna call you after this, bro, so we could experience it together.
Oh yeah.
All right,
but
guys.
If you playing Smash, I haven't played Smash since I was over there.
Legends of Arceus.
All right, I'll look into this. Bye.
All right, brother. This has been Lidat. Thank you guys for being here. Oh, before Javon, you can go on. I know you got shit to do. You can just dip out. Before we dip out, I know Ish, you wanted to promote. You have upcoming shows in April.
Oh
you got going
yeah,
on.
I'm part of a theater company called Broken Box Mom, which is pretty dope. I get to really explore different ideas and thoughts. And we got a show coming up in April. So
Heard it.
What else you got going on? What's your social media?
Is at is.Castillo_. That's my social media account on Instagram.
And what can people look forward to you doing anytime soon? I've been really on top of you about producing your own art. I've been really on top of you because me and you have gone back and forth with ideas, and I do consider you like very artistically inclined. I think me and you both approach art or narrative very differently, but I do think that you and your ability to move or depict art has always been one of the most unique things about you and any friend I've ever had. And I wish that you would put more independent stuff out, more independent stories through dance, narratives or whatever, man. Because you have the gift, and I think Jose can attest to it. Even now, you are very well spoken, and I don't know, man. I think you can really do it, man. I do think that if you were to start putting out your own personal narrative stuff and whatever, you can build something on social media, bro. You really could. I know you probably don't look at social media the way you want to look at it. You don't really, you have a different kind of context for it, but you can grow, bro, a lot.
No, yeah,
I hope you actually do it.
And it's always been a battle with me, and I know it's a battle that I need to just take the L, learn the lesson, and get over the hump. Like it's but yeah, like I think that show with like BKBX that I got coming up, I think it's gonna be really good because we all is like a group of people, a lot of people with different beliefs coming into a room, respecting each other in their beliefs, and like trying to form a story through mine. And I'm offering stories there of my own narrative to try and like put something together. So if I make pitch day and my piece makes it or my ideas make it, and I think that's a place to come and see some of the stuff that I'm writing myself. This last year I've been really getting into writing. Writing I finished a short recently. I'm hoping to like send that into festivals.
Yeah, it was pretty good. I like the idea of it.
And I got ideas for TV shows too. You know, like it's I'm slowly getting my writing muscles going. And I want to be able to produce my own stuff. So definitely in the near future, that's going to be a part of my career. So for sure. But right now, that's what I have coming up is that show in April. I got some other stuff in October, but that's too far to really like be promoting right now. I'll promote that when time comes.
You should send stuff our way, man. You should send some stuff our way and shit. Have you been dabbling with music, like just playing piano and stuff like that?
Not really. I've let go of that, to be honest. I've been really focused on like the acting and getting my acting just career going, because that's where I feel like my time needs to be in right now.
Okay. Jose, you have any questions for Ish before we let him go?
Oh, nice meeting you. Seem really chill.
Yeah, for sure, yo.
You smoke?
I dabble in it. I haven't. I dabble in it. It's been a minute.
I dabble.
I know, but I'm not gonna say no.
No. Just seem like a really chill. You seem like a really chill dude. You know what I mean? Like, you go with the flow. I like that. Anyways, we put your stuff in the description and you know, share it on social media and stuff like that. Although you don't like it, don't worry.
Man.
For sure.
Yeah. Hope you share it. Hope you share the podcast, man.
Yeah, definitely.
What you got going on. Yeah, he's been Jose, you know, it's been a supporter since like day one of the podcast.
Oh yeah.
He used to watch the episodes and thought that he used to be a supporter since day one of the podcast. Likes and comments and views and whatnot, and constructive criticism. You know, so it's pretty cool for it to kind of go half circle and you appear here, and hopefully next time we make the next circle is that we're interviewing you in regards to a role that you're doing either in a movie or TV show. I'd hope that next time we're both in much higher places in what we're pursuing in our artistic mediums.
Oh, for sure, King. Yeah, can't wait to see where this podcast goes. It's slowly growing. And one thing I love about y'all is y'all consistency. Y'all started here in New York, and Sammy had different ideas for life.
Yeah.
Been somewhat bi-coastal. He ain't really hit the other side of the water, but taking flights back to New York whenever he feel like it. This dude, he living the life, and even the distance hasn't stopped y'all from doing this. So y'all keep on in that consistency, and it's going. Y'all going see the fruits of y'all labor.
Stay high value.
That, man.
Stay high value, guys.
With that being said, man, I think we're gonna close up the podcast. Thank you, Ish. Thank you, Javon. Jose, any closing words?
No, stay high value, guys. Be a liger.
Get that out.
Stay high value.